There's a phrase in Trainspotting, I don't know if it's just the way Patter evolves or something, but like, cause Irvin Welsh is speaking in Eastern Lowland Scots, every sentence ends with "like say" in the book. I never hear any cunt talk like that anymore.
No.
Nobody
But
says
even
like say.
I think that was outdated even then.
Right.
So I think that was a kind of thing from when he was growing up.
Mm.
Here's the thing. People go, fucking, very true to life sometimes with posh dramas. I know someone like Fleabag or whatever, right? And posh people do, right? Whereas with working class people, we often go, oh, that's a bit fucking dated or stereotypical or whatever, right? And my theory about that is, if you're posh, you can get your fucking thing made, right? So, you can get Fleabag made or whatever. I like Fleabag, but, you can get your posh drama laid. And so the thing is accurate because the person that you're writing about is people you know, and right? Whereas if you're working class, you have to spend 15 years working your way up the fucking ladder, and by the time you get your thing made, like you're fucking 10 years out of date.
Yeah.
By the time,
And then people go, you forgot your old arse, right?
Yeah.
So I was talking to a mate about this, about how you are told when you're working class, don't do postcode humour, don't do this, don't do that. But if you're middle class, or if you're writing something that is about an area that those commissioners and such like stay in, they'll go, oh yeah, I know those people. Oh yeah, that's exactly what they're like in the golf club or the tennis club. But like, say for example, I write about a building site, they're like, is it realistic? And you need to go in, and say, but how big's the building site? And you go, well, it's, I don't know, a fucking bar restaurant. And they go, right, and you go, well, if you make it a bar restaurant, it means that you can see the progression of the building site through the fucking 6 episodes. It's one set, it's MDF, and it's really cheap to make. Like, you need to completely justify fucking everything to them that you've considered. This is how it would look on a screen. This is how we would do it. It would be a cheap budget, blah, blah, blah. You're middle class and you just fucking waltz in there and talk about the tennis club or the golf club. They're like, great, yeah, and you're fucking...
But that's even if they're middle class or have some fucking ability to relate to you, right? Me and Stephen Dick wrote a sitcom one time set in a regional theatre, right? So the guy's a block writer, right? So he's a playwright and he's bought this wee theatre.
Right.
And the fucking people come in, it's about Fawlty Towers and all that, right? We did it in Radio 4. And the head of comedy, or whatever, not the head of comedy, but the head of Radio 4 goes, I don't know that there are regional theatres anymore.
What?
And you're like, well, what's with 2 of them?
Where do you think I've
there's
been
fucking
the
hundreds of
last
them.
10 years of my life?
You can just Google it.
Yeah.
And they're like, I think they've all closed down.
And
And so
you're
you're part of that, or you go, some of these people are so kind of ethereal and kind of upper middle class that they actually don't know what reality is.
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing that when you're dealing with people like that, they aren't willing to either come down and see that world. And there's times where I've sat in meetings and thought, I don't know if you even fucking watch comedy when you're at home, but yet you're in charge of putting this shit.
I know. Sometimes they don't.
They're watching
Do you
the
know you
fucking...
have that thing, if you're a writer, like, you just know, don't you? Right? So I was looking through some things for research, right, for some stuff I'm writing, pitching, and I was like, a lot of kind of dross out there. And I put on a thing I've not watched, right, Daddy Issues, right?
Oh, what's that?
And it's like a sitcom about a woman who gets pregnant. Slight spoiler for episode 1.
Spoiler for the synopsis.
And her relationship with her dad, right? The intro, you can go, all right, this is properly written. Someone knows what they're doing is writing it. A woman is writing it, right? And you sort of go from reference-wise and some of the stuff, you go, some women in their 40s, right? And you just kind of know, right? And you go, but they've got it, and they've got this thing, and they've got the dynamic, and they've got characters. And you get 5 minutes into it, and you go, all right, this is good. And then I look up, and it's Danielle Ward, right? And you go, oh, right, that is actually a good comedy writer. So that's, why this thing is that. How can commissioners not do that?
No.
Do you know what I mean? Because we've not got any special fucking magical gift. We just work in the industry.
Disagree.
I think you'll find I am a
Gifted.
a pixie.
Yes.
Spoken like the vibes based. Have all the lights just gone out in the building? That's quite a
No,
horror
they'll
movie.
just be
That's been,
sensor operated.
That's what you choose to believe. I believe
That's what I probably know.
That's what you
because
set
I
up in, that's what you set up in minute 5 of a horror movie. You know, they're sensor operated.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
I used to be a spark. I know what's going
You
on
fucking
here.
relax.
Next
son,
thing
you
you know,
relax.
machete through the skull.
You stick to your Catholic video games, which this is beginning to sound like one out there.
I'll just go out and have a look. I'll just go out and have a look, guys.
I'll go have a look.
I don't know that. I think when Christopher dies, the movie's quite boring, isn't it? Should we not kill?
It's the case with always the
kill
person
a
who
few
gets
of
killed in the
cunts
first.
in the office.
That's why, is it not in Scream the first person who dies turns out they weren't killed and they're fucking the person who was killing the whole time? I would turn out I was the killer, probably. Unable to cope with the impending end of the podcast, I decided to.
You actually just think it's a video game. You've got too deep into simulation theory, and you go, "Yeah, I'm killing cunts. That's the game. That's the game, guys."
It's kind of the plot of the video game Hotline Miami.
Right.
Anyway, what the thing with Celtic? It's like
I can't believe you've not exhausted your Celtic knowledge by now.
I'm
I did 5
actually.
episodes ago. But it's like I just feel like it's kind of the issue with the country as well, which is that it's not publicly owned in the same way that water's not publicly owned, in the same way that public transport isn't publicly owned. It's all owned by these people who have conflicting interests. Is that?
And that, Christopher, is Thatcherism.
You
And here
can't
we
blame
are.
Thatcher for Celtic in 2026, can
No,
you?
but I can fucking blame her for
Christopher
the water.
Macarthur-Boyd's capital.
Well, our water's publicly owned. Scotland's water's publicly owned. And our trains are publicly owned. So it's just, that's...
I thought it was a Bellio. I'm talking about the wrong train. Is that Vanity West Coast?
You're thinking of Vanity West Coast.
It's the one I take quite a lot.
We all take it. Well, I try and avoid it now because you
Really?
can't fucking rely on a train going south of the border or any of those fucking trains. So.
You driving?
No.
Flying?
No, it's flying.
Jesus.
It's cheap, man.
Having
It's cheaper.
Having to get all your stuff rummaged through by some sweaty airport
That
cunt.
doesn't happen anymore.
What?
Because of the 100 mile rules being abolished, you just keep everything. They've got new scanners, and the scanner scans everything.
You can
and
take
that's it.
liquids down to London now.
Aye, son.
Do you need to take your shoes off?
No.
I just don't like X-ray machines.
I thought you'd
Okay.
like to take your shoes off because it might remind you of like Japan.
If only, man. If only. Makes me feel like a hobbit. You know, they never wore shoes.
I one time, you know, sometimes you look around Glasgow, man, it's fucking rough at the moment. Right? Years ago, there's some show like Late Review or something like that does a thing on Belle and Sebastian. So I want to watch it, and my pal is round who's an unvarnished Glaswegian, right? Who's never heard of fucking Belle and Sebastian, right? So there's some fucking item about them, and as part of it, they've got one of them in Celtic Park, maybe certainly in a football ground. He's like, I love being in Celtic Park, and I like to look down and see all the guys, and they're all like wee Subbuteo men, right? And my pal, who's just never been any part of this kind of world, right, goes, how do these cunts survive? And you do sometimes see like a hipster or something in Glasgow, and you go, how the fuck? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's me. That's my life.
When I was living,
This is a tangential way of approaching this.
when I was living in the East End and I lived next to a park, I remember during COVID, I stayed next to the side entrance, and you'd walk in. It was like the fucking hay festival. People would be lying, reading books. It was like something from the fucking film Morris, right? They'd be lying, reading books, and you'd walk past the bins, and it'd be like prawn, chilli, and coriander, right? And then as you walked round to the kind of kids' play park, it was just kind of wee groups of teenagers with their Bluetooth speakers playing Scooter. And then as you walked kind of up the hill and round the top, the whole place just smelled of hash. And I was like, I have literally went from the hay festival to the slam tent at Tea in the Park round to like fucking Glastonbury and Woodstock, all in literally a 25-35 minute walk. And you go, I don't know if there's many other cities that everyone who's so different live so close to each other. Do you know what I mean? Like so cheek by jowl. Because there are times where I used to walk through Alexandra Park and look at a hipster and think, I don't know if you're making it out this fucking park alive.
Forgive me if I've raised this point before, but I was reading this year the sci-fi novel The City in the City by China Mieville, I think the guy's name is. He just wrote a book with Keanu Reeves.
I know the guy.
Yeah.
Big China.
Big China. China. But he was saying he's got this book called The City in the City, and it's about this city that's a kind of disputed territory in the way that East Berlin and West Berlin were disputed, or Gaza and Palestine and Israel was the disputed space. Do you know what I mean? It's like a place where
I don't know if East and West Berlin were disputed as
there was
such.
a big
fucking one. The Midland went the end.
Aye, but it was a city where there was an ideology here and there was an ideology here. There was capitalism and there was communism, and it was like, hey, they're in the same place and we're going to split it up. But what this book does is it goes, the cities are on top of each other, so topographically the cities are in the same area, but the people there are raised to not see the other side. So you'll walk about and you'll see the other country there, but you've been trained socially to not see it.
Fuck.
So you're walking about and, you just don't, the way that people hold themselves, the way that people's walk is and the music they listen to and the way they smell and the food they eat and the language they speak is all different, but it's all in the same area.
Yeah.
And what he's saying, well, one of the things he's kind of raising in it is we all do that. We all have, in this city, you choose not to see things and you choose not to see a homeless person. You go, I'm not in the same place as that person who topographically is right next to you. And I think the same thing with hipsters. People just don't see me. If you've got a tote bag on your shoulder, certain people just go, he's not there.
But certain other people, predators, kidnappers,
Bible John fans.
Sometimes I see these guys, I'm like, it's like someone just wandering into the vampire club in Blade. Oh, it's a cool spot. Okay.
But the vampires are there hanging with vampires and feed.
I suppose it's a good thing though in a way, because I remember there was fucking places in the East End that you wouldn't stop a taxi to use a bank machine back in the day. You see, he laughs, right? Am I right, Frankie?
No, I grew up there.
No, but you weren't stopping a fucking taxi in the mid-90s to go and get money out of cash line. No, you weren't.
2005.
You were. It was a different time, Christopher. It was in the back of optimism. 2005, 1995 was fucking bleak.
2007 was pretty rough.
But do you know what I mean? So I suppose it's quite.
We
nice.
lived through AIDS, son.
Aye.
I lived through fucking 2 recessions and a COVID.
You've no to listen. We're not even at the end of fucking austerity and the recession. But I do think it is a kind of good thing that because you used to only just see those people up the West End. Do you know what I mean? That was your kind of. I got the West End and you'll not get any hassle because the Merchant City was still it never had bars and restaurants. It was just fucking derelict.
Was it like Tradeston?
No, it was so. You've got if you were walking along past Blackfriars heading into the town, so there was a whole where the social hub is. There was a whole row of fucking houses there and all that. There was a boozer, Granny Black's, and there was a market in Merchant Square, and it was fucking rough as toast. And half of Ingram Street was just being held up by kind of steel Meccano-esque beams because it was all listed facades, and there was no housing. Nobody was living in that. It was where you kind of graduated down for the barras.
It was a part of branding. So part of Glasgow's branding was to start Merchant City. There was a counter campaign which James Kelman was in, which was to rebrand it as Workers' City. Right? And the merchants, remember we were taught about the tobacco lords and all that in school. So those merchants,
slave owners.
well, they were certainly part of the triangle that involved the slave trade initially. Then they were part of the taxation that caused the American War of Independence. I mean, they're historically very important people.
Boston Tea Party.
But they were not good people.
No.
And to class them as merchants.
It makes you sound like a guy who shows up with your brand of tobacco in the back of a camel or something. I'm just a merchant.
But a Golden Virginia?
So did gay people kind of gentrify the merchant city, do you think?
Oh, yet again, you're fucking blaming us for everything. If it's not AIDS, it's gentrification. Well, no, I wouldn't say so. I would say, again, like most kind of cities at that time where there was gay bars, they were generally in lanes and alleyways and, you know, dead-end streets because it was safe. It was safe to go there. People didn't go down. So obviously Ty, who I'm a charity of, they done a video with 4 people, and it was called No Going Back, and it was about the first gay bookshop in Edinburgh. There was a guy in it, Tim, who had ran a campaign to get the crimes of men who'd been caught cottaging and such like done away and all that. And then there was a guy, Jim, and Jim was brought up a Catholic. He was a school teacher, trade unionist, right? He's quite sparky, Jim. I love him. And Jim was explaining how a gay bar could never have a lamppost outside it because the light shining on the door, if people knew that was a gay bar, you would be caught. And a lot of these men were married, and it was mainly men, and it was all that kind of stuff. So no, I don't think it was the LGBT community that started that, because invariably we were such a subculture and so underground that it was a bit of a ghetto, you know. There was like the Court Bar. Everybody knew it was a gay bar. It was on Brunswick Street.
Is the court, because the court in Perth, Australia is ran by a Scottish guy? Is that a reference?
No, that's Connections. That's wee Scott Telfer.
Right, aye, court's down the road.
Aye. So Connections is the one like across for the monkey.
Yeah, sorry.
Monkey. So it was that thing where I don't think they could gentrify it because ultimately they couldn't be out in any city. Like, I mean, fuck, you can still get this in some European cities as well, where you need to, it's a bit of a speakeasy vibe. You need to fucking chat at the door and they'll pull down the hatch and they'll look at you, and if they think you're gay, they'll let you in. But obviously, you would saunter in, son. Classy guy. But it's that thing that they couldn't have the doors open because there's fucking people that would go in and murder people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's still that. So I don't think you could put it on the gay community, the gentrification of it. But then you look at kind of Manchester and you go, well, that kind of scene thrived and they built it, and it was almost like kind of, well, here we are. But that took the kind of 90s to come along. And then, of course, everybody started going out to gay bars and kind of start treating it like a zoo, didn't they? They go, no, I get to dance to ABBA and look at good-looking men and think, what a waste. Do you know? And you think, we fucking need a bit more for you than dancing to ABBA, you know, getting a fucking march. So I think just traditionally that's part of the gay subculture, is those pubs and clubs. And
I just thought it was gentrification in the sense that, you know, when it's a rundown area, rent's cheap, the artists, the gay people, the theatre practitioners move there. They make it cool.
You've
then
lumped
the
all
money
those
people
things
came
in together. You've gone artists and theatre people, gays.
That's his reality.
the LGBTification.
Yeah.
The gayification of the Merchant City.
I ended up...
Gayification's a great word.
As I think I've talked about briefly with Susie, I ended up drinking at age like 20 maybe, with Bruce Devlin.
Brilliant.
Without knowing who he was, right? So, this famous gay Scottish compere.
Famous nasty person.
I don't think he's not. I think Bruce is an absolute fucking teddy bear.
He's a teddy bear with some porcupine spines.
Yeah,
I
but
like
you know
porcupines.
what? His porcupine spines make me fucking laugh.
I have nothing but love for him.
He calls my family a family of scuttlers because I once told him I was the tallest person in my family. He went, Jesus, you're fucking thalidomide. How's the scuttlers doing?
You can fucking hear him saying it all though, can't you?
He's got away with words, I'll say that.
But we would go to, with a friend of mine, 2 friends of mine actually. So we hung out with these women who I only remember as the lesbians.
Of course.
There were 2 women who called the lesbians.
Did Bruce call them the lesbians?
He called them the lesbians.
Of course.
But everyone just called them the lesbians. Where's the lesbians, right? One of them was called Claire or something. Anyway, we would all go out drinking, and we would go to the Polo Lounge, and we would go to some kind of club somewhere. But it never occurred to me that either of my friends, male friends, were bi or gay. Because I was just an alcoholic. And you talk about 2 cities where you don't see each other.
Yeah.
I just didn't see that part of their lives. Do you know what I mean? And one of them was deeply closeted and never came out. It's pretty fucking sad.
Fuck,
like
that's
now,
awful.
to our age.
Mm-hmm.
That's awful. That's fucking awful. And watching that film, No Going Back, I actually need to talk to the boys to see if they would release it. The lesbians who set up the bookshop in Edinburgh, Gertrude, they got together when they were 15 and they're fucking still together, right?
That's beautiful.
It really is, honestly. And the film is so emotive, because even like growing up, when I grew up, ultimately I became an adult and equality became and it pretty quickly compared to the fucking previous decades. And it was that kind of thing that you're watching it and you go, you do fucking stand on the shoulder of giants. Do you know what I mean? Because these are the people that brought about that change. And you realise how absolutely fucked up it was, you know, like there's a guy brought up a Catholic, a school teacher, and he was like, I remember sitting in a trade union meeting with the fucking police and they're like, well, we don't have any of your lot in here. Like, what the fuck, man? And it's that kind of, and how homophobic the police were and how homophobic the institutions were. And you just, and then the fact it took to fucking, I think it was 2015 or 2017 to eradicate all those men posthumously off, like to take away their criminal records. You're like, fucking 2017. There you go, sensor lights. Just say.
For the listener, the lights came on.
Somebody walked down the corridor, the lights came on. I just want to say good work by the PIR, the passive infrared.
Oh,
cell.
aye, is that how it works?
That's how it works.
Do you know what would be good, right? Get about 5 people that look identical in the same clothes and just walk them by a window like that, so that we thought we were like glitching or something. Just like, what the fuck?
When I was a wee boy, my dad had a salon above or below a dentist on Hope Street. And me and my sister were so bored, having been, my dad's working, doing stuff in the salon. We had nothing to do for hours. Not interested in hair, really.
Clearly.
Me and my sister just stood in the window and pretended to be dummies until someone looked up. And then we went, ah! And freaked him out. And we got one guy. It was one of the best moments of my life. But that's how fucking bored I was. Just, I'll be a dummy in the window until somebody
And that man
goes, the mannequins look quite realistic.
And that man had an induced heart attack.
Me and my sister slayed a man.
I fucking died because Christopher was bored.
Not
Imagine
for the
he
last
found
time.
that was what he was into sexually at that moment. He's like, I've got to find someone pretending to be a mannequin.
People are in everything.
Well,
There's a short story, isn't it, about a guy sees someone fall off a building and realises that's what he's into. And realises it's going to be terrible.
Jesus.
It's like Crash, isn't it?
Do you think
What a wild
people
movie.
Yeah.
have always been into weird shit,
Mm.
or do you think it's just because of the internet?
No,
No. I think it's new.
fetishes forever.
But also, I think it's like we have become more neurotic. You know, neurosis is a product of an unexpressed desire. So, we as we have become more fucked up and less connected, fetishes are going to breed.
It's just you go. Maybe you could live your whole life and then trip and fall off a building and then on the way down go, oh, this is what I'm into. It's only until you do that, until you're exposed to falling, that you realise it gives you a wee hard on. Versus the internet, you can Google, you could just go, let's see what I'm into. So I guess pre-internet, you had to read, you had to go to the Mitchell Library.
Sit in the Wes Anderson room, stoned.
Laminated
I
records.
used to go in the library like as a teenager because there was a book on like the human body or something like a children's encyclopedia where there was like a naked woman.
I used to go on Wikipedia when I was 12 and look up vagina to see one. And you could look up penis. But I'm sorry if I spoke about this before, but Wikipedia had to go, stop sending in pictures of your fanny, stop sending in pictures of your bobby, because everybody wanted their bobby or their fanny to be the definitive fanny, the definitive bobby. People were like, when you look up penis, on Wikipedia, I want my penis to be the definition of penis.
The cult
You know,
of
and you
individualism
could have-
has
you-
went
You know how
fucking
people go-
off the chart.
People go, you would be under idiot in the dictionary or something. People actually want, when you look up penis, you see me.
Yeah, but
Am I dick?
they've got rid of it now. But it used to be you could click on penis or vagina in the Wikipedia, and it would come all these. They would come all these different options would come out. But now it's one. William Wales, is that the cunt's name that runs Wikipedia? Billy Wales. Sorry.
Let's just
Let's
say
pretend
it is.
it is.
Billy Wales sounds like the future king.
He sounds like fucking he's playing up front for some football team in the 1950s.
Billy Wales on the bar.
Billy Wales. Archel Gammy. Archel Gammy? I don't think that's his name. Archel Gammy is a...
Imagine you met actual Gemmell and it was like the platonic ideal of Archie Gemmell, and he led you to a platonic world where all the perfect things, the perfect versions of things existed. Or you think you've had a fucking iron brew because here's the platonic iron brew, of which your iron brew is but the smoke of this fire.
Yeah.
I seen a picture of Cristiano Ronaldo today. I don't know if you've seen it, but he was basically wearing like a pair of tiny shorts and he was standing showing off all these muscles. And then you think about players like fucking Archie Gemmell just standing with a pint and a fag, and you think, football's really fucking changed, hasn't it? Because football players just used to look like your uncle. You know what I mean? Just wee fat baldy guys. And now they're fucking standing like some kind of transformer, waiting to just get turned into a fucking truck.
But then when you see them in real life, you're just struck by how thin they are.
Light.
With such low body weight, and they're like a greyhound or something.
A whippet.
Yeah.
Kind of shitting itself.
I was reading a thing about how men's bodies have changed to be like there's a younger generation who are taller and thinner than what
Not
like
in my experience.
younger Christopher,
okay.
come on.
The Gen Zs.
The Gen Zs, that they are taller and thinner and they're not as broad as like your generation, and certainly not as your dad's generation, even though if your dad, who is quite wiry, right, but he's strong, do you know what I mean? You can tell that your dad has still got strength about him, do you know what I mean? He was just a kind of wee wiry guy, whereas they're saying that the younger generation are just tall, thin, and they don't have as much fucking core strength.
Tell you what though, go to the fucking gym. I go to the gym now, there's a school rush all the time. And the other day, I'm in my white jogging pants, which I think looks good. My girlfriend does not like grey joggies. Do you know, that seems to be like, that's what a
Grey
rapper would
joggies
do,
are in.
right?
Yeah.
I've got my grey
Gogram
joggies,
grey.
I've got my wee Celtic woolly hat on, and I've got a red t-shirt. And some young lads,
Cute as a button. Cute as a button.
So I'm doing row. I'm doing a row, right? Quite heavy weights, and some young lads are looking at me sat in the rowing position, and they're making some fun, and they're having a bit of a laugh at me. I think. And
Really?
I think the word Santa was mentioned.
There's something decidedly beautiful about this, that if their father caught them doing that, he would fucking shit himself. Like, you can't say that. It's Frankie Boyle. He'll fucking mollicate you. He'll write a joke about you. It's wee Santa.
You write satire at your expense.
I think
Santa's
nice.
anybody with a beard gets called Santa in the same way that when I was growing up with long hair, anybody who gets called long hair gets called Jesus.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's just kind of route one patter for
It's
unimaginative
just like
cunts.
I had a friend come over from Canada. You might know this, very volatile comedian.
Mike Wilmot.
No.
Oh.
Uncle
But
Mike.
he got a lot of people yelling Jesus at him and blah blah blah, and he said that he's quite ready to fight this guy, right? He's quite
that
crazy.
one, that
one.
We know that, friend.
And he said it just took him a couple of months to realise, they don't mean anything by it. Like, he's like, if someone came up to you in Canada, a man to another man, and went, hey, you know who you remind me of? Like, they just fucking punch you.
Yeah.
It's a really punchy country. Yeah, you look a bit like
Again,
bang.
Scottish heritage.
Whereas he's just, this is just a thing. They just kind of have to say what they see.
Yeah.
And it's true,
If you ever walk down the street with Graham Mackey after a gig about 11 o'clock at
God.
Santa, it is like literally grown men absolutely steaming, just looking at him like, Santa? And you're like, mate, you're fucking 42, man. Of course it's not Santa. But yep, people will just shout it and say it. All right, Santa.
I used to get it a lot.
Santa?
Jesus.
Oh.
Because I had long hair.
Jesus.
And you're beautiful. That's it. Because Jesus was essentially.
I told you about these wee girls who lived in my estate when I was growing up, and they used to run after me, and they would call me Michael Jackson because I had long hair.
Not a good
Not
look,
because you had
Christopher.
long hair. That's your story.
But they used to I used to think they
How
were
they
shouting.
come in Michael Jackson? And here, this must be the hair. Michael Jackson with his
I
famously
was
long hair.
pale.
What?
Had straight long hair like Michael Jackson. But you know what?
Michael Jackson, can I just say he didn't have straight long hair?
No one knew it. A wee boy. He was black. I'm talking about when he was white. I'm talking about nearly dead Michael Jackson when he was porcelain, nose like fucking Catherine Zeta-Jones, eyes like
You're just describing a lot of things that aren't you.
a tranquilized tiger. I didn't know it, but I used to think they were shouting "Bent Boy" at me. They go "Bent Boy, Bent Boy," and one time I just stopped and I went, "Here, why do you call me that?" And they went, "What? We call you Bon Bon?" And I was like, "What? We call you Bon Bon because your sister works in a sweet shop." Do you think they were lying?
Yeah.
It's probably like Bent Boy.
No, they were
Rent
wee
Boy?
girls. They were wee girls. Like
Homophobia
Eight.
doesn't mess up people.
I don't think 8-year-olds eat bonbons. That's quite a chokeable, sweetie.
Can I just say the album cover has turned up? The Ed Sheeran, Elton John Christmas album covers turned up on that screen. And it was,
for the benefit of the listener,
It's
we
fucking
record this in a
alarming.
radio station.
look at that fucking picture. That
I
Ed
hope he's
Sheeran.
going to fucking hang himself with those fucking fairy lights, man. And fucking Elton just tugs on his heels.
I never realised. I mean, it's two ginger kings, Ed Sheeran and Elton John.
What is it about public agreement, like public consensus, right? So Elton John did Glastonbury. God love him, Elton
You
John.
hate Elton John.
I've never really got Elton John, right? But fair fucks to him. In his day, fine.
I remember
bit of a
you saying this at
showman, all
the
that
time
stuff.
last year.
But fucking Glastonbury, he waddles on like he's got a fucking nappy on, sits there, looks old as fuck, plays some fucking like totally mid songs with a fucking video background. It's completely shit. And people are like, oh, wow, that was fucking mind-blowing because they think everybody else is saying the same thing. And you're like, can nobody fucking
see this?
penetrate?
Can I answer
Like,
this
yeah.
sincerely? It's the same thing as the biggest two concerts this year in the UK
I'm going to end up fighting with him.
were certainly the Oasis reunion shows and in Birmingham, Ozzy Osbourne's last concert before he died, 2 weeks before he died. And then you get stuff like that, and it's just we stopped the rot at the heart of culture means that we stopped making new people for the monoculture a long time ago, which is why everybody knows Disco 2000, everybody knows Go West for Hogmanay. No offense to Hogmanay, great company. They're paying me a wee bit of money this year to do Ho Ho Hogmanay, or Ha Ha Hogmanay, no Ho Ho Hogmanay. But like now they get Wet Leg, and it's like. All the fucking who fucking I mean I know Wet Leg a wee bit, but I couldn't tell you any songs off their new album. It's no for new young people. They stopped making new stars a while ago.
Yeah.
Ho-ha Hogmanay with fucking Al Pacino.
I do
Mrs.
think
Claus, an ass. Welcome to Edinburgh.
I might just fucking do that. I might just do that whole Hug Me show and that accent. 8. Somebody's getting fucking whacked. Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, I do
I think there's
that-
some truth to that. There are obviously people that transcend that, so you're fucking Taylor Swift or whatever.
Sure.
Right. But then, even then, I don't really fucking know any Taylor Swift songs.
The monoculture died a long time ago because mass media died a long time ago.
I'm going to take here's another view on it, right? From coming at it from a different angle.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment, the idea of being entertained, and if we unpack that, soothed, tickled, whatever has crept into art a lot, and you get all the time. So you see a lot at the moment of reviews of people going, "Oh, this is great! What a joyous fucking film or what, up
Warm.
and people want,
I want warm.
and you're like, that's not exactly what art is for. I mean,
Nope.
it can do that, and there's some good art that does that. A lot of good art is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like it. You don't have to be entertained by it. Sometimes you come back to it with a kind of, I don't know. There's a rapper called Jam Baxter, who's part of that Cambridge rapper scene, right? Who to me is obviously a genius of a sort, right? And it's a bit like William Burroughs or something. It's very uncomfortable. The attitude behind it is uncomfortable. It's difficult to listen to, but I do go back to it occasionally and go, I should listen to this. It's obviously brilliant. I don't enjoy it. I don't, it's not something, oh great, this is on. It's not fucking, Wham at Christmas. It's like, that's kind of part of what art is. And that has more and more become sidelined. And it's been like, yeah, but why would you do a really downbeat rap about your fucking relationship with your father?
But it's also, you're right, where we've managed to push things that make us confront things that we don't want to look at or confront ourselves and all that kind of stuff away. Like, if you think about the parents now, so they were the train spotting generation, which, I mean, it's not the most uplifting film, right? There's some fucking horrific bits of train spotting. But the overall film, for me, defined my generation, as it were. And you could argue, fuck, it made heroin a bit fucking glamorous looking.
Well, that was the argument at the time, it was a bit chocolate box. It was a bit of a positive, upbeat spin on that bit.
Right? And then you go, I don't know if a baby crawling along a ceiling in a hallucinogenic fucking fuck up is great, and a baby dying because of neglect and a guy dying because of cat shit is particularly glamorous, right? And even now when you watch it, you're still like, fuck, it's like watching American Gangster. There's bits of that you're like, fucking hell, this is a bit rough. But you have to watch it and you have to fucking challenge yourself. And our generation, who are the parents now, are like, no, you don't want to watch that. No, you don't want to fall off your bike. And it's like, you have to fucking be exposed to stuff to understand it, to respect it, to maybe appreciate exactly what it is, and then take yourself out it, think about it, or don't, never watch it again, whatever. But fucking at least try and expose yourself to stuff. At least try and be culturally aware. But we've became so fucking, and I don't want to sound kind of right wing here, right? But there is an element where we've become so fucking mollycoddled that it's like, no, you need to see the very worst of the world and the very worst of life. I don't want to. You fucking have to.
I don't think it's a personal decision, though. I think it's the fact that the things are decided by an algorithm, and if there's any kind of uncomfort and you're in control, if you're listening to it, you listen to the radio, whatever they play, you're hearing it from start to finish. You watch MTV in the 80s, the 90s, they play a song, you can't control the next one. Whereas if you're listening to music that's algorithmically decided on shuffle, you go, ooh, don't like that feeling, go to the next thing, and you can now skip things. So what that does is it leads to homogenization and a smoothness, and it just means you want a wee bit. So I don't think it's a personal thing of, oh, I don't want my child to listen to this, or I think it's genuinely the way people consume things has changed.
That's a really good point.
Another point is the worldwide homogenization. It used to be the different places in different parts of the world would have local scenes where you had to be there to experience it. You're part of a wee group. Everybody there would dress a certain way. Everybody there would talk a certain way. Now everybody's hanging out with everybody. Yeah. You're watching Chinese TikToks. You're watching fucking American rap. And now, and you know, I was in Glasgow last week. I heard a wee guy go, "Oh my days, a wee Scottish white boy." He said, "Oh my days." I says, "This is disgusting.
This is stop it now, son. Stop it now.
You've got your own patter."
I hope you stepped in.
I grabbed him by the throat
cunt.
and I choke slammed him through a grate, and he was in a stank.
It's led to a dearth of pattern. It's led to like the most successful novels. In fact, the only successful novels are cozy crime. The most
Looking forward to a
successful
cozy crime novel, Frankie.
TV show tends to be, you know, you listen for this background music of boom, 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 boom.
I
boom,
hate that
boom,
music.
Boom, right? But this is a light-hearted thing, and you kind of got to a point now as well where things are lauded that you're like, you can only enjoy that if you've never seen anything good.
Yeah.
Right? I watched Platonic, Seth Rogen thing the other day.
Right.
Got really good reviews. You can't enjoy that if you've seen a good thing.
Okay.
You can't.
What's wrong with it?
It's bad.
Yeah.
Right? So just like from the premise is bad, I would argue. But from the whole kind of
I've
setup
never heard of this. What's the premise?
well, even just like it's the two college friends who drifted out of touch. After his divorce, she's a working mom, get back together as friends and have some platonic hijinks. It's essentially Last of the Summer Wine for middle-aged people.
Great.
Right? So they're falling about in a trolley and blah, blah, blah. Oh, let's get out of here.
Millennial Last of the Summer Wine.
Yeah, but everything about it is, and the actors look disgusted to be there. Everything from the way it's lit to like everything about it is bad. But that is something that is allowed now by the fact of this entertainment complex that goes, well, if we're filtering out all the edges off everything, and you're just seeing a lot of kind of pablum, by the time you get to this, it's okay. You know, it's like if you're eating fucking grill every day and
It's
someone gives you a mashed banana, you're like, yeah, this is fine. You know.
I wonder if as well, like what you were saying about the algorithm and stuff like that, I wonder if, because like, if you're left, and even if you look at things like the independence referendum and stuff like that I was kind of so convinced, because when I looked at my algorithm and my social media, that everyone was like, fuck yeah, this is, do you know what I mean, this is going to happen and whatever, that you were in such a kind of tunnel that you actually forgot there was another side. So yeah, I think there's that.
I remember you saying something at the start of the big movement of, how would you describe this? Basically, when Israel started committing genocide in a serious way last year or something, you were like, I can't believe this is on everybody's phone and nobody's talking about it. And I was like, I do understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, that's because you seen a video about it and you watched it to the end, so it kept showing you. Whereas most people, if they see something, they go, no. And then it's never going to show that person any more stuff like that, because
they don't want that.
It's just how it works.
And the amount of times you hear people saying, yeah, I don't watch the news anymore, it's too depressing. You're like, but that's why you should watch the fucking news, because you can then see what's going on in the world. You can see you can see how fucked America is. You can see how financially fucked this country is. You can see the absolute rise of fascism in both countries, and you're just choosing to go, no, I'm just going to watch fucking I'm a Celebrity extra because I don't want to watch the news.
I think is that thing as well, isn't there? Where it can be hard to explain to someone who cares about something that you don't care about it, because to them that's the thing to care about. You know, someone was trying to tell me about some comedy thing the other day, and I was just trying to go, look, I don't really read the websites or any of that stuff. I don't follow the industry at all. and
didn't when I was in it.
And they just can't really get their head around that. Do you know? But they're like, yeah, but
it's a bit like when you meet a super fan of comedy, isn't it? And they start to then kind of talk, Bill Hicks or Dennis Leary and stuff like that. And you're like, mate, I'm just trying to get ready to perform to these 300 people in this fucking club on a Saturday night, going to fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Merry
So probably one of your fans wants to speak to you and you go, shut the fuck up, you.
Wasn't my fan. It's just like, yeah, I'm such a big comedy fan. Let me tell you about this Bill Hicks joke. Just fucking don't. I've seen it. I've seen it. Lunch.
The Nippon Kitchen.
There was no even, we all knew that was happening.
Never any doubt.
Never any doubt. We've got the band back together.
Let's do this.
Let's date troops.
Seasonal menu is here.
You love a wee seasonal menu.
Fucking turkey kit, so here we go.